CQ, CQ, this is W9GFO. Is anybody out there?
Other people need to see what I've seen. They need to see...
This is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small moves, small moves.
Well, this doesn't happen very often. It doesn't. Maybe because I watch too much public media. I mean, too much, not public media. Just, the media that we're supposed to watch, you know? The propaganda media that's owned by, what, 6 corporations? And I'm not out in the real world enough. It can happen. I mean, you know, it can happen. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty proud of white people. Do not mistake me for thinking that white people are superior. But something very interesting has happened as a result of this mess, especially in D.C. You know, a lot of African Americans, and I can't argue with their logic on this, are saying we're sitting this out. It started with the immigration thing. And it's not because they don't have solidarity with or empathy for immigrants or Latinos or any of that stuff. It's just that, yeah, who needs a target on your back, you know? Also, I'm not going to speak for African American people why they don't want to, you know? You can find that out for yourself. Not my place. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Y'all on your own. You can't figure it out, then I got nothing to say. The thing is, you see that, in Los Angeles, where basically the President of the United States has invaded and declared war against an entire state. Some creepy stuff, man. Oh, I forgot to do the cat. Where's the cat? You see, if I'd woken up the cat, I might have gotten some goodies. Oh, well. This is crowded, I know, but, you know, it was looking so bland down here, and Trader Joe sold me some cherry blossoms, and I thought, I have the height for them. Now, there's some places they won't grow. I put them over here, and ain't none of them coming up. You tell me what. What's the difference between there and, oh, I guess maybe about 2 or 3 blocks height. I don't know. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. But especially now in D.C., white people are stepping up. And in a good way. Not a, here, I know what's best for you, I'm going to boss you around, do what I'm telling you to do. Not in that kind of way. And I hope that doesn't start. I hope they don't get their egos massaged too much and think, ooh, you know, we got the answers. We know what's best for everybody. I do not understand what's going on. Well, there's workstations there. I get that part. Found another donkey, by the way. They're just floating around upstairs. So I now have 2 donkeys and a mule. And I don't know how many horses down here. I mean, there's horses running loose all over the place. One horse just decided to come in here. So I said, okay. And then I had a tamed donkey. I tossed the donkey in here and made donkettes. Mules. So the thing that's happening with white people that I'm very impressed by is they're having these music festivals in Washington, D.C. See, we have gotten so censored by computers, by computer algorithms. You have to call them music festivals so you don't get buried, you know, so your information doesn't get lost and suppressed. So they're calling them music festivals. That's pretty smart. Music Festival night 2025. LA Music Festival 2025. DC. Anyway, so people are on the streets and waving signs and disagreeing with the public policy of having military troops and FBI agents. You know, if I was a kid and got recruited by the FBI, and you know, training for the FBI is not easy. I don't know much about it. I saw Silence of the Lambs, so I'm a big expert, right? In case you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, the lead character, the lead detective, we watch her part of her training at Guantanamo. No, what's it called? See, I don't even know the name of the place. I'll think of it by the end of the video. Anyway, I only watched it because it was Jodie Foster and Tony, what's his name? I love them, both of them. Anyway, so can you imagine you go through all that training, become an FBI agent, think you're going to do all kinds of cool spy stuff and protect your country, and They throw you on the streets of Washington, D.C. to throw homeless people's tents in dumpsters and lock homeless people up in jail. Can you imagine how demoralizing? Same with National Guard. These people thought, I'll sign up, I'll defend my country. National Guard isn't full time. National Guard, I don't know how often you go, but you go on these little weekend retreats and whatnot. Retreats. Anyway, you go for training every once in a while, and then if they need you, like especially for like natural disasters, like what's about to happen with this hurricane, tropical, whatever it's called, you are deployed to help out in case of emergencies. Or I guess if somebody decided to invade our country, you'd probably be asked to help out on domestic soil to defend our country against some foreign invader. But that's not what they're expected to. Why is there an egg down here? Where's the chicken? Oh yeah, there was a hole down here. That's right. And these poor people. See, if I can jump over that, anybody can jump over that, right? I've got to plug that up. I grew grass down here because I'll probably bring down some animals, and if I can find a place that's deep enough, I'll grow a few trees down here, so I don't have to run up and down for wood, particularly for charcoal. I exposed some ores, but I haven't had much chance to do nothing with them yet. I might as well leave some eggs down here. It wouldn't hurt to have some chickens running around. What I kind of want to do is move this stuff around so you see how it went like downstairs because I took that gravel out. What I want to do is instead of moving all these carts and the contents, just roll them on down there, What have I got? Okay. So I got all these people in D.C. that most of them don't even want to be there, there's a few. I've been seeing some stuff about Proud Boys and whatnot being down in there and being old people that did that insurgency against the Capitol building and attacked cops and stuff. Some of those people are messing with immigrants and so on. That's, yeah, But for the most part, the people who are down there, they didn't sign up for this BS. What they thought they were signing up for was to protect their country, not to terrorize the locals, So, there's some bad feelings about this and people dealing with it, but the thing that I found really interesting, oh, that's right, I wanted to make a sword so I could cut down spider webs. Oh, well. The thing I find interesting is what white people are doing. Not only are they participating in these music festivals, some even organizing them. The purpose of the music festivals is to protect people of color from being arrested and harassed. That's the purpose of it. So, and also, what's been working in L.A. is that they following these cars around, getting their license plate numbers and getting any identifying information they can get, getting background information on particular officers or so-called officers. We don't even know because they're wearing masks. We have no idea who these people are. If they're qualified to be doing their job, none of it, We don't have a clue. So they're trying to find out who these people are, where they're coming from, how they got there, And the thing with the white people is not only are they protesting, they're also helping chase these vehicles through the streets and find out who's driving them, or what agency they came from at least. See, this is why I knock these things off the top. These top ones that don't go with the rest of the thing. Because I'm always finding stuff behind them. Do wish I brought something to... Oh, well. Cut spider webs. I don't feel like... Is that something floating over there? What is it? Oh, that wood, right. So the interesting thing also that white folks are doing is... Okay, you're driving home from work, right? You don't know it, but there's a bunch of these people that have infiltrated your city. And they're like 2 blocks away or whatever, right between you and your house. You just want to go home, right? You worked all day, you tired, you picked up the kids, got some dinner from the Subway. That's a joke if you don't know what it's about. I'm sorry. You just trying to go home. Your feet hurt, you're tired. Well, white folks, a lot of them are standing on the street corner saying don't go that way because they're down there. Telling them a detour to take so that because they're stopping people on the streets. These so-called law enforcement people. I don't know what that has to do with homeless people. I don't know what that has to do with stopping crime. If somebody's just coming home with with their takeout dinner in their car or their kids or whatever. I don't know what that has to do with stopping crime. I don't know what that has to do with mental health. They're just harassing people, you know. So they're warning people, don't go that way. Take a detour, because the thugs are down the street. I think that's a really good use of white people, you know. As long as the white people don't get cocky and start thinking, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so good because I did this stuff, and start telling other people how they should live their life. You know, white people just need to follow directions. Ask the people in the neighborhood, what do you need? And try to do it to the best of their ability. I mean, if it's something illegal or something, which I don't think anybody would ask for. If it's something illegal or something, of course, don't do it, you know. Or if it's something too hard for you to do, don't do it. But if you can do it, just do what people need done. They'll tell you, you know. And so they're going to be surprised because nobody ever asks people, what do you need? You know, they're always telling them what they need. That's what's part of the problem with Washington, D.C. They're not real citizens. They get to vote, but their votes don't matter in the election, you know. They don't get to be autonomous. They're not like any other state. They're not like a state because they aren't a state. And they're kept that way deliberately. See, after the Civil War, and even during the Civil War, African Americans who were trying to get away from slavery or from all that Jim Crow nonsense after slavery, when black folks just had a target on their back, a lot of people came to D.C. because they were hoping they'd be safer up there, you know. So when you talk about, that's why there's so many black people in D.C., because it's historically a black city. Like Detroit, after the war, when the lynchings and stuff started happening, people moved to Detroit and Baltimore. You will notice that now those cities are on the radar to be invaded by the U.S. government. This is so nuts, I can't believe I'm saying these words out loud. So white people are helping direct traffic away from potential threats. They're standing on the street corners screaming and hollering for fairness for people that are, you don't want their city invaded, shoot, you know. And that's a really good use of white people, and it makes me very proud, you know. That's a really good use. Like, if you had a talent for anything, protesting and not getting your head bashed in for it, warning people not to go down that street without getting your head bashed in for it, that's chasing down vehicles that are snatching people off the street, that's a really good use, you know. You want to be useful and you white, that's a big help, thanks. Just don't get cocky about it and think you're like some kind of savior or that nuttiness. Let people tell you what they need done. No, don't assume you know. Especially you don't live in that particular neighborhood that you're supposedly defending. See what I'm saying? You don't know what's best for these people. They'll tell you. I have to remember there's an upstairs. There's a whole part I haven't even looked at yet in this. Apparently I went up once because there's a pumpkin upstairs, or I was warning myself to come down here later. I don't know. So I'm pretty proud of white people in that respect. Not all, not many, because like, okay, South Carolina. What's the last thing important you ever heard of coming out of South Carolina? That is my point. South Carolina, the governor there has decided to send his National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. South Carolina is invading Washington, D.C. You hear what I'm saying? They're trying to provoke a civil war. They're literally trying to provoke something. That's another thing I'm proud of everybody about. Is they trying so hard to get everybody fighting with each other, get everybody angry, and keep provoking stuff. They're trying so hard to provoke something so they have an excuse and a reason to declare martial law, say the country isn't safe, the people aren't safe, we got to intervene, we got to send in troops, and we're not buying it, you know. For the most part, we're just like, whatever, Joe. We're not in it, you know. And we know what they're trying to do. I mean, we know what they're trying to do. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can be a congressperson, a senator, a governor. If you don't agree with the current regime, they're going to try to do something. Mess you up. Get you provoked. I mean, they're going after Newsom. Well, shoot, now the most recent thing is they talk about invading Mexico. Now you're going to get blowback. That's not going to work. You know, Mexico, for all the things people think about it, Mexico is a wealthy, prosperous country. It's hard on working class people. That's why a lot of them come here, because it's just hard to earn a living. Last I heard from some of my tenants that lived in Mexico, they told me that there's no retirement stuff. So that's why a lot of the people that were, I had ran a boarding house, and I had a lot of um, older Mexican guys, like in their 50s, 40s, and 50s, that had come to the United States to work, and they were making more money cleaning cars at car dealerships, like car rental places and stuff, and bussing tables, picking up the dirty dishes and whatnot at like Applebee's restaurant and stuff. They were making more money doing that than they had been making in their regular jobs. And these are people that were like, one guy was a surveyor. It was his job to survey property and see how, I'm not going to do this right now, but at least I've got a staircase up and down. Just to see where like property lines are and, geographical stuff and topographical stuff. That was his job. That's a real professional job, right? He was making more money detailing cars and cleaning tables in the United States than he'd been making in Mexico. So he had a family to support, and he had semi-grown kids, but kids, and a wife and all that stuff. So he came up to the States to earn money so he could send it back home, and he had people working on building his house. His real house, his I'm going to retire here house, So that's why they come here. Mexico can't provide all that because, well, heck, we bankrupt them, all these little countries. We put them in debt and steal their resources and assets and make them dependent on us. And so Mexico maybe can't afford to do all that. So it's not because Mexicans are lazy or anything. It's because we steal from people. So, and it's hard to always play catch up when somebody's coming after you for money. So that's what's really going on with that. So now we've decided we want to declare a war on Mexico, and there's going to be other countries going to be really concerned about this. They're not going to look lightly on it. Just like this business about we want to make Canada 51st state. Where'd that was so cute, that bat sitting there. Oh well, that bat trying to tell me something. I don't see it offhand, but that bat trying to tell me something. Well, I don't see it. I hear it. I heard its wings that time. Oh well. So there ain't no point in being mad at Mexico. So the good use of white people in this situation is warning people to stay away from traps, traffic traps, that kind of thing. That's a good use of white people. I don't remember what's in here. Oh, crap, well, that's right. Excuse me, I had to cough. Andesite. Oh, goody. I hardly ever get any of that. I heard you could make this. If you combine cobblestone and diorite, you can make andesite. Is that true? I should try it just sometime to see if it is true. Okay, that is gunpowder. I'm always surprised by gunpowder. Oh, I want to keep that. Okay. So I'm really proud of white people. They're doing the things right, There's a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes, too. Like with laws and, legislation, that kind of stuff, where they're researching what the legal options are, that sort of thing. That's useful. But this characterization of African Americans as being criminals and uneducated and incapable of taking care of themselves, providing for themselves, that's, I knew we were in trouble when the dummy said something about black jobs. And then the other day he was talking about how, immigrants, he didn't say which ones, but we know which ones he meant. Immigrants have, they're like naturally born to the work. Really? You actually said that with your whole mouth? They're naturally designed to do agriculture work and stuff. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed by this person. Oh, it's awful. So, my point was to just let you know that I'm proud of white people. I think white people have done a good job recently. I hope they don't try to take over and be smartasses and tell everybody else, well, you're not doing it right. And I hope they don't do that. We've done it in the past. Just listen. Other people will tell you what they need. They will. It's going to take a while for them to get used to the idea that you might actually listen to them. It's such a novel concept that anybody would actually listen to people, white people would actually listen to people of color. It is a novel concept. Alright, I'm going to take some stuff upstairs. And I would like to... I'm getting enough track. Track. That would be here, right? Yeah. I'm getting enough track. I could run a rail thing upstairs. I don't have much redstone yet because I haven't gone very deep. But I could... See, I'm thinking I could run a track up here on the grassy part. Power it. I don't see why I couldn't. Be a lot easier than this. Also, I need to put stairs. Oh my god, this is so sad. So I'm pretty proud of what white people have managed to accomplish the last few weeks. I mean, we did this kind of stuff in the civil rights movement too, in places. It was sporadic, but like, did you know that I think it was in Mississippi they had one of those voter registration campaigns, and some white kids. One of them was a preacher. Some white kids were helping move around people so they could organize for voter registration, and they got stopped by the cops, and the white kids got murdered. So I think the black kid did too, but yeah, they were just flat out murdered. I mean, this is what I'm talking about privilege. Like, white people actually do have the privilege not to get involved in stuff so that they don't have to get killed. So to be in a position where you were... Where's the horse? There's the horse. Isn't that a pretty horse? That is a nice horse. I also like the white ones that are... I don't know what that's called. If it was a pit bull, I'd say brindle. Excuse me. So let's hope that white people don't lose their minds and decide they're the boss of the world again, and, you know, that they actually stay useful. I think we're making real progress. I'm disappointed by people like that governor of South Carolina sending troops to... Oh my god. You know, the Civil War never ended. We just pretended it did. I've been pretty sure of that for a little while now, but look at the way the glass does. Now you can see all the connections there. See? You can see all the edges, but look when you're inside of it. You can't see the edges you can't see the edges now. That is interesting. They did that to save themselves some grief. When they first came out with colored glass, oh my god, that caused so many problems. Because the computers didn't know how to read the glass, so if you had one colored glass behind another colored glass, it would just completely mess everything up. They've done a lot to make this thing better. That's why they reintroduced fog, too, to help keep from complicating the graphics so much. Made me a snowball. I don't know if it's happy or not. I would like to make a little spot where it could just kind of run around. I feel bad for having it locked up like that, you know. But you gotta be careful with them because they don't have a lot of common sense and they will hurt themselves. There was a person in here. I think what happens is they have babies, and the babies somehow get caught between the fences and the blocks, and then they grow up and they're just stuck there. I think that's what happens. I'm not for sure because I've never actually watched it. Alright, I just wanted to brag about white people doing the right thing. That's looking pretty nice, isn't it? Doesn't look so like a factory like it did last little while ago. I like that color on that tree bark. I'm not crazy about all this pink. I don't like the pink wood. I think I would like it better as stripped logs than as planks and stuff. It turns really, really pink when it's turned into planks. I just wanted to check in with y'all and let you know that it's nice for a change to be proud of white people. So that's something useful that people can do, is go out and tell cars, don't go that way because there's a roadblock or whatever it's called, checkpoint, you know. I can't believe I'm talking about checkpoints on the streets of Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles, California. This is... Lord... It's not over. It's not going to be over. They're going to try to take over the whole thing. They're already, like, Harriet Tubman's hymn book has disappeared from the African American History Museum because it's too controversial. A hymn book? Frederick Douglass's journals? Oh my gosh. This is because it's divisive? Because a person who got liberated from slavery is divisive? What is that over there on that side of the hill? Top right hand corner. It moved, whatever it was. Oh, I see. It's a cow walking past a cave. Never mind. That's the road goes back to my house. It goes that way for a little while and then it turns this way. So my house is actually that way. But you have to get across that road first. Did you see that light up and then go light went out? What is that? Oh, down there by that tree? I guess it's how I'm moving is affecting, yeah, the glow of a torch. Oh, I see. It's up here on top of this hill. It looked like it was down there by that tree. So when I was moving around, it depended, the pieces of grass were Okay, I thought I found this hillside is very interesting. I would like to amplify that and make kind of like ramps around it, wrap it all around with buildings and stuff. I think that would look pretty awesome. Alright, I'm sorry I don't have anything more useful to say. I just wanted to check in on that because I'm really proud of what people are doing. They don't have to. And, well, yeah, they actually do because they love their city and they love their country. You actually do have to. If you, if you really love where you live and you really love your people, you have to. Wish I could do more of it, This is about all I got, and that's kind of sad. Nobody even watching these videos. Alright, well, glad to hear from you. Wish more people knew that I was trying to do something useful, That would help. Help make me feel a little less, like... It's not about being important, it's about this is a critical time, and I would really like to be able to help make things better, Provide safe space for people, place for people to communicate and connect, skills sharing, that kind of stuff, networking. I just wish I could. Alright. You are alive. Wake up. I'd hug you, but my arms don't bend. Goodbye.
I will kill you.
Like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, or the dog gets it.